We are to solve the inequality x squared times 13 minus 12x less than or equal to 1. And we have a couple of problems here. One of the problems is that we have parentheses, so we'll need to multiply through by the x squared. And another problem is that we don't have 0 on the right over here. So we'll multiply through by x squared here, distributing that, and we'll have 13x squared minus 12x cubed. And then we will move everything over to the other side and then get our inequality oriented correctly, and we'll wind up with 12x cubed minus 13x squared plus 1 greater than or equal to 0. We have to have 0 on one side in order to solve this nonlinear inequality. Now, this is a polynomial that we can use our finding roots methods for finding where this thing is 0. And so we will start by saying, okay, well, all the possible values of p would be plus or minus 1, and all the possible values of q would be plus or minus 1, plus or minus 2, plus or minus 3, plus or minus 4, plus or minus 6, or plus or minus 12. So we need to find these ratios p over q, and then try some. So let's begin by trying minus a fourth as a possible root. And when we do that, we'll bring down the 12, multiply the minus 4 by the 12 and get minus 3, add minus 13 and minus 3 and get minus 16, multiply minus 1/4 by minus 16 and we'll get 4, add that to 0 and we'll have 4, then multiply minus a fourth by 4 and we'll have negative 1, and when we add 1 and negative 1 we get 0, so we know that we've found a root. And we've also found the coefficients for the other factor, which would be 12x squared minus 16x plus 4. So we'll set this equal to 0, factor out a 4, and that'll leave us with 3x squared minus 4x plus 1. And then factor that into 3x minus 1 times x minus 1. So we have roots 1/3, 1, and minus a fourth. And that would give us the factors 3x minus 1, x minus 1, and 4x plus 1. And now we'll find out where those things are 0. 4x plus 1 is 0 at minus a fourth. X minus 1 is 0 when x is 1. And 3x minus 1 is 0 when x is a third. And that breaks our number line up into 4 parts along these zeros. And then we will just map out our minuses and pluses. 3x minus 1 would be negative to the left and positive to the right. X minus 1 would be negative to the left and positive to the right. And 4x plus 1 would be negative to the left and positive to the right. So here we have 3 negatives. And when we multiply 3 negatives together, the result will be negative. Here we have 2 negatives and a positive, and we multiply those together, the result will be positive. Here we have 2 positives and a negative, and when we multiply those together, the result will be negative. And here we have 3 positives, and when we multiply those together, the result will be positive. We were looking for where the product was positive, and that will be then from minus a fourth to 1/3, and also from 1 to infinity.